we go. We back. We back for another edition of the 50-50 show, man. Here we go, man.
Oh, you didn't know?
50-50.
Welcome to the 50-50 show with PharoahNFL and the Severe Raider, the realest show for Raider Nation.
The perpetuation of the greatness of the Raiders to take a professional football team and give it a distinct characteristic that's different from all others.
Make sure to clock in, like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell.
Man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clock in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let us know, man. Let us finally the 50 show at a reasonable time. Hey, man. Hey, is it back? All right, we audio good? Okay, cool. Yeah, we're working out some kinks, man. Y'all, if y'all been paying attention watching the show, we've had some technical difficulties. We're working through them. We appreciate everybody's patience, everybody coming through today. We're gonna have a great show. It's an early edition of the 50-50 show. So we'll find out if this is gonna be here to stay. But hey, man, if you guys are just joining us, don't forget to clock in. We're going live on both our channels. Obviously, myself, PharoahNFL, my guy, the Severe Raider. If you haven't subscribed at all, definitely subscribe to both channels. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. Man, hey, we see everybody pulling up, man. We gotta address my guy, Raider Smoke in the building, man. Appreciate the super chat, man. Came with the super chat here. He says like and sub. There's something in the air last night. Fernando. Great couple of days of football. Niners got that BTA. Our future QB getting the W. Yes, sir. Hey, man, we got to salute that, man, for sure, man. Get that Raider salute, man. My guy Smoke, man. Appreciate you coming through and supporting as always, man. Everybody coming through. We see y'all. Jack in the building. What's up, Raider Nation? Was good. Good. Salute. Anthony in the building. Was good. 831 Raider in the building, man. He says ain't no sound. That was from earlier. Okay, yeah, everything should be fixed. Was good. DK, my guy DK in the building, one of the best mods out there, man. Appreciate you pulling up. My guy, brother Yaya in the building. Appreciate you pulling up. Isaiah, like we addressed this earlier, finally 50 show. Hey, man, this might be the show, man. It might be the showtime, man. We'll see how it goes. TK in the building. He says, salute, fellas. Feel like I'm on an island because I'm not sold on Mendoza. It is what it is. Yeah, I hear you, man. I hear you.
You're not the only one, brother. You're not the only one.
I hear you, man. It's one of those.
Happening. Just understand that it's like Thanos. It's inevitable.
Yeah. And the thing is, this goes back to what I said before, man. It's a long we start talking about quarterback during the season. So we're, obviously Raider Nation, we're like tired of what the Raiders have kind of shown us the past few years, or, if you've been a fan longer than that, obviously last 20 to 30 years, it's been a while that the Raiders been showing this type of product on the football field, but specifically the last few years, the quarterback position has been terrible. So right now, like, everybody's excited about upgrading that position. So, okay, I just received word that we're gonna get into candidates. Ajiro Evero completed his second interview, which is his in-person interview. So. We'll get into that too, how we feel about those candidates. We'll talk about that. But as far as Mendoza, my early impressions I was thinking about, like, man, is he number one pick material? Like, you know what I mean? As far as his ceiling and all that. But at the end of the day, man, he's checked every box. As far as playing well against good. He's played well against good competition. He's played big in big moments. He's been clutch, accurate, really good arm. You know what I mean? Some people I say good, really good arm. You know what I mean? But I think he can make all the throws. He can make all the throws. His athletic ability, it's not a question. You know what I mean? I think he has good enough athletic ability.
Good enough.
So 6'5", 225, man. Like, that's. Hey, I think the Raiders. I don't see the Raiders not taking him, but
yeah. I wouldn't say he's checked every box, but he's checked more than enough boxes where if you need a quarterback, you have to take him. If you feel he's the guy at quarterback, you have to take him. If not, the only options at the number one is take the quarterback or trade out. That's the only option. You cannot take another player in front of Fernando Mendoza.
Man, if they trade out, they better get like a Godfather offer. They got to take advantage of that.
Get whatever the Bears.
It can't be like 2 first-round picks and
Gotta be like 3 firsts in the second.
But I'm not even on that. I'm not even on that, man. I was, but at this point, I'm like, bro, like, just go get the quarterback.
It's happening.
Go get the quarterback. Go get the coach that believes in the quarterback, that can develop the quarterback. See if it works out. If it doesn't work out, then rinse and repeat. I think right now the Raiders, because the Raiders have the last few years have been doing the same thing. Just to play devil's advocate, they've been doing the same thing. They've been trading for guys, they've been signing guys in free agent. It's just been a whole lot of misses that route. They haven't gone the route of actually going after a quarterback in the premium rounds, which is, I would say, the first couple of rounds, if you want to include the third round, and actually try to develop them. Because I'm not counting the Aiden O'Connell.
The same thing. They've been doing the same thing, but they haven't been doing the correct thing, which is, get premium talent at premium positions.
Okay.
They haven't done. They've, outside of Brock, was this, pass catcher, whether you want to say premium position or not. But it's right now, nowadays, the tight ends and receivers, if you have a tight end that's a receiving tight end, it's almost interchangeable. So you can say, hey, bam, premium pass catcher. But we haven't really gone early on offensive line. We haven't gone early on defensive line. We haven't gone early in the second. So we've neglected all these other top, premium positions in the pursuit of, instead of rebuilding, trying to retool. And so I think that's and part of the reason is because the coaches have been under the gun, with the feeling that they have to win immediately and there's no time to build toward the future. So I don't think we've been going about things the right way. Hopefully now, we get a coach, we draft Mendoza, we let that thing build out. We give him, I don't want to hear no excuses about what he don't got. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear over the next few years, address the offensive line, address number one wide receiver. We got Genty in the backfield, find a coach and a system that fits his play style.
Yeah.
All that stuff. I don't want to hear in 3 years from now, he was the greatest player ever, but we did him wrong. We failed him. It's like, I don't want to hear that nonsense. Like, if he's the guy, put around him what he needs to be successful, like Indiana did, and then you hit the ground running.
Yeah. And that's on the Raiders.
Exactly.
That's on the Raiders. And if the Raiders fail to do that, that's on the Raiders. That's on them.
I mean, it could be the wrong pick too. So that's what I don't want. I don't want it to be that's what we hear. Oh, we failed the player, and I don't want to hear that nonsense. I don't want to hear.
I don't want to hear it too. I agree with you too.
But I want to hear he's the right pick or the wrong pick, or we did the right thing and we did the wrong thing. You can find separation between the two. You can say, you know what, he was the right pick and we did him dirty, or you can say he wasn't the right pick and we did him dirty, or he was the right pick and we did the right thing. Like, those are all options.
I agree with you on this. I don't want to hear that, but in order for me not to hear that, the Raiders have to do their part. And if it's the same old Raiders, I don't want to go all the way left with this, because we all know everybody. We all got PTSD. If you've been a Raider fan long enough, you got some level of PTSD with the Raiders, where you start thinking about all these crazy scenarios. But I don't want that to happen, and I think that that's on the Raiders to make sure that they develop the position correctly, meaning they have the right coaching staff that believes in them, everybody in that building that believes in them. Because to your point, we talked about this before, you can't draft a guy if you're not all in on him.
One man, one sound.
Yeah,
one man, one sound.
Exactly. If Tom Brady likes the quarterback and the coaching staff and the GM are on a completely different page, it's not going to work. So an example of this, and I know I'm going a little bit left on this, but you know how people talk about Brian Flores and how he treated Tua and all this type of stuff. That was crazy. You know what I mean? That is a concern. That's a red flag. But that's an example of you drafting a guy that the coach doesn't believe in.
Exactly.
It's never going to work. So I don't want it to be that type of situation. I don't want it to be that.
Frank Reich and Bryce Young. I mean, that's not who Frank Reich wanted, you know. And
Facts. Facts.
Then Bryce Young struggled, and then he got fired. Then he got with a coach that more or less believes in him. And he had a rocky first year with Dave Canales, but this year, you know, he played much better. You kind of see the upward trajectory. So that's what you want. That's the ideal situation, is that, you know, because if you have a coach or front office that has any kind of reservations about him, then they'll nitpick it, and they'll say, "Oh, you know what? He's not our guy. He's not our guy. I knew he wasn't." And they'll look for confirmation that he's not their guy, and they'll put a plug early, perhaps, you know, before they should have. But conversely, and this is also a danger, where if they believe wholeheartedly, or they believe, I don't say believe too much in them, but sometimes people are blind to their flaws. Like, it took people forever to say Tyree ain't no good. Like, up until like this last summer, I was having arguments with people about, Tyree about to have a breakout year, baby. This is like, no. So and when you believe in a guy that much, sometimes it's like it's blind to the fact that he's just not it.
Yeah.
And so that's a danger as well. But I'd rather them give the QB too much time to develop and put too many resources toward developing him than them not give him enough time, or not put enough in to develop. I'd rather them believe too much than not believe enough.
No, I agree. I agree with that. So, like I said, it's a long process. The fact that we literally been talking about quarterbacks. Everybody's been talking about quarterbacks. If you're a Raider fan, you've been talking about quarterbacks and Mendoza and all these guys. And now we kind of like it all, you know, ended with Mendoza and the Indiana Hoosiers basically winning the National Football Championship. And Mendoza just checking the box along the way as far as like playing big in big moments and all the big games. Like, you know, it seems like he's going to be the guy, but be prepared. There's going to be a lot of people just nitpicking. They're going to talk about every little thing, from his personality, from his skill set, from his talent. Is he a number one pick in other drafts? Is he, you know, they're going to talk about all of that. But I think when it's all said and done, I think the Raiders still draft him, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Like, the Raiders I say all this, but I've been surprised by the Raiders and the moves that they made in the past. Like, they always find a way to keep you like I didn't see that coming. They always do, like, you know what I'm talking about, like just random, like, think about it.
I don't think this is one of those times, bro.
This one of your favorite picks of in recent memory, Ashton Genty. I didn't see that coming. I didn't think they were going to take a running back at number 6.
A lot of other people did, though. That's the thing. Like, I just didn't. We looked at, you know, spy tech history.
Yeah.
We didn't see it coming. But, you know, what we didn't do, I don't think, maybe we didn't look enough at Pete Carroll's history.
Right.
And I think, you know, hindsight, we looked at Pete Carroll's history like, yeah, this is a Pete Carroll pick, you know, trying to. And then we looked at the quotes. I think you put it up perfectly with the Marshawn. He keeps trying to rebuild the Legion of Boom. You see Ashton as just Marshawn, and, you know, Raider Nation saw Ashton as the Marshawn. So, you know, that was hindsight. You know, it made a lot of sense, just because running backs are supposed to be immediately productive in the NFL.
Yeah,
their skill set translates the quickest. So if you get a guy, Kyron Williams hit the ground running, Bucky Irving hit the ground running, Tyrone Tracy hit the ground running. Like, a lot of these guys hit the ground running. So if you want to win immediately and you think you have a back that can do it, then they translate pretty fast. But, you know, we were thinking long game. Pete Carroll was thinking like, bro, I got to win right now.
Yeah, and we'll get into Pete Carroll and that mindset later in the show, and how it affected some of the decision making, some of the players on the team. But shout out, once again, my guy, Raider Smoke with a super chat. He says, had to check the time, thought I was tripping. Yeah, man, we a little earlier than usual, but hopefully y'all enjoy it, man. It's an early edition of the 50-50 show. Hopefully we'll see how it goes, man. We'll see how it goes. My guy Raider Resistance in the building, checking in for the 9th wonder in the world, man. Appreciate you pulling up. My guy Raider Resistance in the building. DK in the building. He says with Mendoza in tow, it'll be key to get our head coach and OC right. Facts. If you notice, the Raiders candidates, I think for the most part, I think the majority have been offensive candidates. The majority of candidates that they've interviewed have been offensive candidates. Now, it doesn't mean that they won't hire a defensive candidate. it just means that a defensive coordinator better have a great plan on what they're going to do at quarterback, who's going to be the OC, the QB coach, the offensive line, like, all that, but yeah, man. Let's get into let's get into. I mean, we could talk about last night's game. I mean, we kind of knew that Indiana was going to win. I wasn't like really too surprised. Fernando had a nice little run. I think it was I wanted to see how he dealt with like him just getting hit time and time again. Like, how did he respond to that? But we kind of known, but even before the game, he a little tough. He's a tough quarterback, man. He takes hits and he keeps getting up. I will say this though, just a critique is that like he needs to start sliding because it just seems like it doesn't come natural to him. Not just from yesterday's game. I'm just saying like in general, if you just watch him and when he rushes the football, like I don't think I've ever seen him slide. He's always trying to like, and in the NFL that's gonna add up. Them hits, they're gonna add up. So I don't want him to get hurt or anything like that. But that was a great run for a touchdown too. By the way, that was like, fourth and four. It was
a great call. That's Signetti and the offensive coordinator showing like faith in Fernando to do the right thing, because you call a QB draw.
Nah,
4th and 5.
It wasn't. So Fernando said after the game that they were expecting like Tampa 2 or some type of zone in the red zone, and they didn't run that. And Fernando just called his number. He just ran.
Oh, that's what you want right there. Then.
Yeah,
that's high level right there.
Big plays, man. Big time play and big time moments, man. With a big time player, man. So,
and that's what you love for a guy. I mean, that's what's really good is for a guy that in that moment he takes the responsibility on himself. So if it doesn't work out, he knows he's the guy that takes the blame for that. But if it does work out, obviously it was a big play, fantastic run.
Mm-hmm.
Showed off his toughness and showed off his his underrated athleticism.
Yeah.
Overall for the game, like I said, man, like we talked about it in the chat, I wasn't impressed. But like I said before, I'm not going to judge him off of the last game. Like, that's not fair. Like, people immediately, Dante Moore struggled. And we see the level of talent that Indiana has. And Dante Moore went into that game, short a lot of his best players. And a guy like Carson Beck, who's been in college football at 6, I think he's a 6-year guy. Like, he had trouble with that defense with, several pros on his offensive line. And he struggled in that game. With Malachi Tony still out there, and with the running back Walker, like with those guys out there, he still struggled. So that's why I said don't judge Moore by that last game. And like I said, I wouldn't judge Mendoza by this last game because he had a big play. He didn't lose the game, and he made the big play to basically seal the deal. And his team helped him as well. And I think that's what you want to have in those situations, is a team that can support the quarterback. And give the quarterback an opportunity to make winning plays. Even if he's struggling the game, not really throwing it well, when it mattered, he made the big plays. He made the big first down. He had another big throw to really just seal the deal. So I think like that's ideal situation. That's what you want to provide for a guy in the NFL. So that's what we got to do.
Yeah, but I think Indiana's identity they're not like an offensive juggernaut. That's not their identity. Their identity is like defense, running the football, you know what I mean? And Mendoza kind of managed the game, you know what I mean? And he makes plays in key moments. You know what I mean? Kind of like I'm not comparing him, but early on Brady with the Patriots. Like the first couple years or year, that's what he was doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. It's a running game and defense.
And defense. And we see that all the time in football, but that was Indiana's bread and butter. Their defense is what like makes them kind of like elite. You know what I mean? Their defense, their offensive line is good and the run game. And then like Mendoza kind of puts him over the top too, because he's played pretty good football this year. Good enough to win the Heisman.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Like you said, like they put him in position to make game-winning plays. And he's consistently made game-winning plays.
Exactly, man. So, Man, it's gonna be a long off season. So we'll obviously have plenty to talk about it, like the number one pick and the possibilities. We all kind of know what it is. It's gonna be Mendoza. But that being said, did you catch any playoffs this weekend?
Yeah, I watched the games. Man, my boy CJ. He did the opposite of Mendoza.
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie, man. Dude, he's trash.
Yeah, he's struggling. I don't say he's ass. He's struggling right now. You could tell.
He's right above. He's right above.
he's better. He's better now. But look, I can't. The way he's playing, you can't make no excuses for it. It's just he's turned the ball over. Yesterday, obviously, it was snowy conditions, rainy conditions. They said he had something going on with his finger. I don't know how true that is. But he was also down. Nico Collins, who's down his tight end as well.
Yeah.
I think he's on his third different offensive coordinator already in 3 years. But guess what? He's won double-digit games 3 years in a row. He's been to the playoffs 3 years in a row. 2 division titles. He's 3-3 in the playoffs. So,
but it's
call him ass, call him whatever you want to call him. He's getting results. So
it's the defense. I mean, it
was the defense his first year. It wasn't his defense the second year either. It's the defense this year. The first year and the second year was not the defense. It was him in a running game year 2. This year has been the defense.
I feel like he's been inconsistent after his rookie year. And inconsistency. Come on, bro. Like to be a good player, good to great players, they're consistent. He's been he's been inconsistent. So that's why I gotta be like, hey, bro. Huh?
He cost them the playoff. He cost them the game. Like
exactly.
They have a Super Bowl winning defense. Yeah. All he had to do is just take care of the ball, bro. You don't even gotta win the game. All you have to do is just not lose it. And he couldn't even do that. So that's what you don't want in your quarterback. And so I was saying, look, bro, you need to pull this dude. Like after the first quarter, I was like, bro, confidence is gone. I don't know what's going on. He can't handle the ball. The ball's slipping out of his hands. He's been all clumsy. Yeah. Body language, you could tell he was unsure of himself. Like, bro, you need to get this dude out of here. You have opportunity to put yourself in position to go to the Super Bowl against a backup. Bro, you got to put Davis Mills in there. And, they continue to show faith in him. He made some plays, I think, started off the second half really good, but then he got right back to his ways, turning the ball over, and it's like you can't have that in the playoffs.
Yeah, man. I missed on AR, you know what I mean? Anthony Richardson, you know what I mean? Never again, you know what I mean? Those guys, I already know. They're coming into the league with no experience. But what for me, and when this was my issue with where I was questioning CJ Stroud, and I had to eat crow that first year. I was like, oh man, he's better than I thought. Oh, okay. But with him, it was how good can he be? We all know with the Ohio State and the talent that he was around, he was playing with the receivers that Ohio State had, and offensive line and all these weapons. And I'm not trying to use that as a excuse of why you should not take a guy, but I just wanted to see other things about him that would make me think oh, okay, he's going to be good in the NFL. But after his rookie season, he's kind of like I said, he's been inconsistent. But we'll see. This is a big wake up call for him. So he got a big offseason ahead of him. They got to figure out what their whole situation at. I don't know if they're going to stick with that same offensive coordinator, or it's just a matter of maybe he just needs to stay in the same offense for another year, and just. They need to make some upgrades on offensive line. You know what I mean? Things like that. But it feels like he got some pieces on that offense. It feels like there's some. The tight end, the running game, the
running game was kind of. Nick Chubb was the acquisition late. He was solid. Woody Marks is a 6th-round rookie or 5th-round rookie.
But he's made plays for him. He's made plays for him.
He was solid. He was solid. Obviously Joe Mixon missed the entire year. Nico Collins was he considered a number 1 before CJ got there? No. So they've that relationship is kind of symbiotic. They addressed the wide receiver.
He's the number 1. You don't think he's a number 1?
I said, was he a number 1 before CJ Stroud got there?
But what is he? Is he a number 1 though? Is he a number 1 receiver?
I outside of being with CJ Stroud, I haven't seen.
I'm not gonna lie, bro. If the Raiders need Nico Collins, come on down. Yeah.
But see, the thing about Nico Collins is Nico Collins got a drop problem too. That's another thing. I watch Texans games, so Nico Collins got a drop problem too. And like I said, Nico Collins' route running is kind of suspect, but he's big and he's athletic. But his hands, he drops a lot of passes. But they also addressed what they got. Jaden Higgins in the second round. They got Jalen Noel. They got him Tank Dell, who's been hurt, so they put other weapons there. Now it's just about him. Now those young guys maturing, and then him just taking care of the ball. Like if he just takes care of the ball. When he's on, he's on. Like he just doesn't take care of the ball.
Damn, I just thought about it. Like when that receiver core is healthy, whew,
they got weapons,
bro. 1 through 4,
especially when they mature and they get Tank Dell back.
Yeah, and that's a guy that he has a lot of chemistry with. So he was out, but we'll see how it shakes out for him. Did you watch any other games outside of the Texans games?
Yeah, I watched most of the 49ers get their teeth kicked in.
Yeah, bro. I kind of seen that coming. Like they're like a Cinderella story. You know, come on, there's only so much a team could endure as far as injuries. Like by the way, do you believe in the whole injury thing? Not the injury thing. Well, yeah, the injuries caused by the electrical substation.
I don't know.
Hey man, that sounds like 49er problems to me. That's what
yeah, look, man, like, hey, that's that, yeah, exactly. Move your facility, bro.
Hey, man. I know sympathy. I'm over here like,
make sure you don't build one in Henderson. That's all I care about, bro. Keep Mendoza healthy.
Shut all them electrical substations near the stadium, bro, or practice facility, all that stuff. Yeah.
Keep Mendoza and Bowers and Genty healthy, bro. And this offensive line healthy. That's all I care
about. Cool Kev says Tua says he'd rather have concussions than deal with Flores. He didn't say that. He said that. He didn't say that. That's wild.
He gonna have concussions either way. So
bruh.
Not like he got a choice.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Tua, his former coach interviewed in person yesterday, Mike McDaniel, and like over the weekend. And I've been thinking about like, who should be, in my opinion, the number one candidate and the head coach for the Raiders. And to me, it's Mike McDaniel. He's the number one candidate in my eyes, just because of his experience coaching the offensive side of the ball, his ability to maximize everybody on offense, his ability to develop the quarterback and get the most out that position. We're talking about Tua, but Tua had led the league in yards, coached by Mike McDaniel. And then obviously, like I said, maximize the players on offense, the run game. You know what I mean? Like Mike McDaniel if you guys remember, he was a former run game coordinator for Mike Shanahan, and he brought that to the Dolphins. And him and Davion Achane, we all know that's a pretty talented backfield with him in there and calling plays. I say all that to say that, like, I just feel like offensively he checks all the boxes offensively as a coach that you would want. Now all these candidates, we could talk about all these candidates and everybody has their opinion and who would be a great fit for the Raiders. But all these candidates, they all have positives and they have negatives.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people, when they talk about Mike McDaniel, they bring up, well, his record against above 500 teams is not really that good. But he went to the playoffs his first 2 years coaching the team. Last year they went 8-9. This year they went 7-10, including winning 4 straight after the GM got fired. So it's not like he lost the team, because I feel like that's an overstatement. I know a lot of people say, well, he lost the team. He doesn't have respect in that locker room. But how do you lead a team to the playoffs? How are you winning 8 and 9 games? How are you winning with Tua at quarterback? You know what I mean? How are you winning 4 straight? That doesn't sound like a coach that lost the locker room. So people need to put that and throw that away. I think Mike McDaniel, I feel like, is a safe option at head coach. Safe option. And the reason why I say safe is because the Raiders can't mess this up. We're drafting a quarterback number 1 overall. Development. We gotta, like you said, you don't want no excuses. You want no excuses. Go get him a guaranteed offensive-minded coach that you know what he's gonna bring to the table. We're not talking about Josh McDaniels. I know people are like, oh, well, yeah, he doesn't look like a coach. He's a better coordinator than head coach. I get that. I get he doesn't have that look as a head coach. But the results speaks for themselves. He's been to the playoffs twice. He's coached top offenses. Like you gotta take that. And for me, I don't know, maybe I'm looking at it very shrewdly. I'm focused on development with this team. The Raiders are rebuilding. We all know it's a rebuild, right? We all know the Raiders need a whole lot of talent. And we got a lot of young talent on that offensive side of the football. So you're telling me Mike McDaniel is available at head coach? He's able to maximize and develop the talent on that side of the football, specifically quarterback? We got to make sure that, to me, we got to make sure that Mike McDaniel is in the building to coach a Mendoza and see if he's that guy for this team. And if he is, cool. And you know what's going to happen is Mike McDaniel might have a ceiling. Maybe Mike McDaniel might have a ceiling. He might be able to take this team to the playoffs. But guess what? The Raiders are a struggling franchise. Our standards are all the way to the bottom. We need to get to the we're hoping to get to the playoffs, let alone win the division, let alone win a playoff game, let alone go to the Super Bowl. So I don't think we should be. We're trying to go for the home run, and I've said this before. Like, the Raiders have always tried to go for that home run. We're trying to go for the home run, but it's cool to get that double. It's cool to get on base. You know what I mean? Score some. Like, it's a good thing if you're trying to at least like try to do things the right way. And I think that with this coach, Mike McDaniel, I think he's a safe option. I think he's a perfect fit for the team with Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers. You've seen what he did with Darren Waller and the weapons that they had in Miami. And people are going to be like, well, Miami offense was built around the player's strength. It was built off of Tua's anticipation and his accuracy. So whatever he builds in Las Vegas is going to be built around Mendoza and his strengths, and Ashton Genty and his strengths, and, you know, so on and so forth. But to me, I think he's the number one option. I mean, what's your take on Mike McDaniel, and who would be your number one option at head coach?
I wouldn't mind Mike McDaniel. I think I got him he's like third probably right now for me. Yeah, like third, fourth for me. I've been saying for a long time, Michael LaFleur, he's been my number one option forever. Just for the simple fact that, yeah, you want a safe hire, but you never hit the home run if you don't swing for it.
Oh, damn, man. Damn.
What they sniped him?
Chargers just hired McDaniel. Damn,
that's oof.
Damn. That's a Mike Tyson blow.
That is that's it. Yeah. What's it? MB. Oh, was it? Yeah. MTTBF, whatever.
Dang. Sheesh. That hurt, man. I wanted Mike McDaniel too. Damn, bro. Yeah, and he goes to the Chargers. Come on.
Yeah, because he's gonna have that team cooking, and they got JK.
Let me verify this, but it's multiple people saying in the chat. Most likely it's true, but let me just verify this real quick, bro.
They bring JK back. They bring JK back, which they may or may not. But then, they got Amari in Hampton. Yeah, never mind. They got Amari in Hampton. Damn,
bro, that's the wrong. Damn.
Look, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah, it is
damn, the Raiders just always trying to hit the home run, bro.
But look, it's not saying that the Raiders didn't offer him. It's just saying he made his decision, and he didn't want to wait. But you know, like I said, it's
right, man.
That's curious. That's curious. It's I'm not gonna say it. I'm gonna say it in the chat. But it's curious that decision he made.
Man, this is a live reaction, bro. It's a live reaction to finding out that McDaniel gets hired by the Chargers. That hurts on 2 points because I wanted him for the Raiders, and he goes to the Chargers.
Yeah,
man.
I know he interviewed with the Lions, and Lions, you know, went elsewhere. Or maybe he wanted.
Bro, that's the Raiders, bro. The Raiders didn't pull the trigger. That's on the Raiders, because he canceled the Browns head coach interview. He canceled it in person. He canceled it. So
that could be because he knew once he had conversations with the Chargers that's where he wanted to go.
But why would you? Okay. Nah, I disagree because he wouldn't have taken the interview with the Raiders if it was about if it was the chart. I think. Oh man, damn, bro. Oh, that sucks.
I mean, like I said, I'm not gonna say it on here, but he had to make considerations, and he had to consider everything involved, whether that's the ownership, the roster, the potential roster, and what's best for the long-term value of Mike McDaniel. And obviously, you get an established head coach. You get to coach Justin Herbert. You know, they got a good defense over there. If Jesse Minter stays, you got a really good defense. You got, you upgrade talent at wide receiver. You got a hell of a squad right there. So, you got Amarian Hampton there. He's looking at all of that and saying, I got what I already want right here. Like, I don't have to bet on potential of a guy. I have a guy that I know can perform at a high level. So if I'm going to tether the future of my NFL career to somebody, who do I feel comfortable tethering it to? A rookie that may take 2 years to get up to speed with the Raiders' track record. Do I got 2 years? Or am I going to tether myself to Justin Herbert, who, hey, you know what? He's a talent. He's the supreme talent. I just had to get that talent to another level. And I think he probably feels confident. He looked at himself and he said, look, I did it with Tua, the guy Brian Flores didn't want. Now I'm about to do it with the guy Brian Flores did want.
No, I understand what you're saying, but I think that he took 2 in-person interviews, the Raiders and the Ravens. If those teams offered him a head coaching spot, he would have got it. Like, he would have accepted it. Like, it would have been because he took those interviews. The Ravens, for obvious reasons, Lamar Jackson, we all know that. Like, all right, maybe you could possibly say for the Josh Allen situation, but he wasn't waiting for that. He just wanted, because he's taken the. I was surprised. The Lions job was probably intriguing for him because he interviewed with that. They end up filling that position. But man, that was my number one guy. Damn, all the guys I want, like, they're all. Oh man, everybody else. Like I said though, every candidate, like I said before, every candidate has good positives, and they also have a little bit of some risk to them. And did you mention your number one guy?
Yeah, my number one guy is Mike LaFleur.
Mike LaFleur, and you've been talking about him for a while now. Like, Mike LaFleur has been your guy. My problem with Mike LaFleur is his time with the Jets. It didn't go the way you would want it to go for a guy that you would want a head coach, especially you're hiring him because of his offensive, play calling capabilities and offensive background. That's my question. Is like, you're kind of betting on like his time with McVay, the time that he spent with McVay, and he's a LaFleur, his brother, that he's from that family of, so you're kind of betting on that.
And Shanahan.
You're kind of betting on that, but I'm just like, it's kind of risky.
Also betting on is like, look at the games the Jets played when Zach Wilson wasn't there. Zach Wilson goes down. Mike White comes in and throws for like 400 something yards. You're like, oh, okay, that's a fluke. And then the next week, Mike White throws for 400 something yards again. So, and then I think Mike White gets hurt. So it's like, like when Zach Wilson wasn't the quarterback, he did well. And then they essentially scapegoated him because, or who are we going to get rid of? The guy we drafted number 2 in the draft, or this young OC, and try to get somebody different. And so they scapegoated him. Salah didn't want him to leave. Salah wanted him there. Salah is a well-respected defensive mind in the NFL. I think he knows like what a good offensive coordinator looks like, or a scheme that's difficult to deal with. He fought for him to stay. Obviously, he lost that battle. So, and then what happens? Sean McVay, one of the best offensive minds in the league, says, "Oh yeah, I want that guy as my offensive coordinator." Yeah, Kyle Shanahan hired him on the staff, one of the best offensive coaches in the league. Robert Saleh, one of the best defensive coaches in the league, hired him as his offensive coordinator. Sean McVay, one of the best offensive coaches in the league, hired him as his offensive coordinator. I'm trusting the best coaches in the league to know what a good coach looks like.
Tu said, damn, bro, being an assistant was more attractive than our head coach. I don't think the Raiders offered him a position. They probably offered him a chance, and he was just like, you know what? And think about it. I think about 2 coaches this week had second interviews. Jesse Minter, I think, was another guy that At least 3 are going to have, up to 3, I think, are going to have second interviews. I think Evero, I said earlier, Evero, he had his second interview not too long ago. I think Mentor is also going to have his second interview, if it hasn't happened already, in person. By the way, the second interview is in person. And then Clay Kubiak. So I think that, the Raiders, bro. Who they playing? They playing with fire, man. I think Clay is kind of interesting though for me. Clay, and I know they like Davis Webb too. That's another guy, but it's risky.
They hired Davis Webb, bro. I'm gonna be pissed off, bro. They hired Davis Webb. I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad as hell. They hired Davis Webb. You hire a position coach that's no coordinator experience, and you want him to come in and develop and call plays and scheme an offense for a rookie quarterback that we're spending the number 1 overall pick on, whose coach has said we run it's a 3-read system. It's first 2 reads, check down. So you have to develop a system that expands on that, right? Gets him back to a full field reads, put in with throws that are comfortable for him, and develop a running game for the running back. We spent no, I'm not trusting Davis Webb to do that. Not at all.
You know, he's been highly talked about. Like, I've been hearing his name like the last couple of years. And then now it's kind of like gone to the point where like he's being heavily considered for head coaching. I didn't know it was going to be this quick because I think he's a QB coach. He's not even a coordinator.
Not even coordinator.
But that speaks highly about him and how they feel about him as his potential as a head coach. But I do think it is kind of risky. He's still in the playoffs. The Broncos they're still in the playoffs. They're in the championship game. They did lose Bo Nix. He's out for the season. I don't know how the Broncos they just keep winning. They got to be the most overrated team, man. But you know,
CJ gave him that game, bro.
Oh yeah,
Texans should have beat them. CJ gave him that game, bro. CJ showed that. Look, man, he need to be investigated. He need to be investigated because that was one of the most disgusting. And that's my dog. That was one of the most disgusting porn. I said, bro, after the first quarter, I was like, bro, you got to get this dude out the game.
You let Bo Nix beat you? Bo Nix?
The game, bro.
You let Bo Nix? Come on, man. That's
get him out the game, bro. They should have pulled him. But look, that tells me how much faith that DeMeco Ryans has in him, because even when he was playing that poorly, DeMeco left him in there, man. Like most coaches is gonna pull you if you playing that badly, especially when your defense is playing as good as it's playing. Most coaches is gonna pull you, and the fact they left him in there, like DeMeco believes in him. Like CJ didn't believe in himself, or he had some money in his head. Like one of the two, bro. One of the two.
I'm gonna switch up on McDaniel. I hope he fails. I hope Herbert throws the most interception in his career, but nah, man. He look. He's a solid to good coach, but he's a great offensive coordinator. I think he could be a great OC. I think everybody wants him as an OC, but like I knew that it was going to be a lot of competition for him at OC, so that's why I was like, you know what? I think the Raiders should pull the trigger at him as coach. Think about development here, and think about him and what he brings to the table, and what he's going to bring to the table. I thought it would have been a great hire from that standpoint. Now, if you want to talk about ceiling, is he a guy that can win you a Super Bowl? You know, there's a risk factor there. Maybe his ceiling was just taking a team to the playoffs or whatever the case may be. But I think the way I'm looking at it is like the Raiders need to focus on development. Who's going to develop this young roster? Who's going to develop the team, the offense, the quarterback? Now we're going to have to find out and see who that's going to be. Clay Kubiak is interesting just because he's a guy that's literally he's going to be another guy that they interview in person this week. His whole career has been with the 49ers, from defensive quality coach, quality control coach, all the way up until OC this year. He's an interesting guy, and it sounds like Shanahan does not want to lose him at all, because someone says something about like, do you see Clay leaving for an OC job so he can call plays? He was like, he calls plays here. Like, no. Basically, like he doesn't want him to leave. So I thought that was interesting. Like Shanahan, a great offensive-minded coach, like he doesn't want a Clay Kubiak to leave, who's his current OC, the brother of Clint Kubiak. And he's been there since day one. But a guy like Clint Kubiak, what scares me about him is he's only been in places for 1 year. Last year, the Saints fired him before the season ended. I thought that was so weird. Like, especially how the season started. Everyone was talking about, oh, man, Derek Carr, and they kind of started off. Yeah, his run game, say it again?
I think they put up 40 both games, if I recall correctly. And then
yeah. And then, and he got fired. So people forget about that. But, it is what it is. He's done a great job this year. I'm not going to lie. But it's still, this is where it goes back to what I was trying to say, is that all these guys come with a little risk. It's like, man, you've only really had success 1 year, and everywhere else has kind of been a 1 year. The run game, I think I overly was critical about it. I think when I looked into it, I think the Saints were they're outside of the top 10. Yeah, they're outside of the top 10. This year
they're from the middle of the pack, right?
Middle of the pack, and their offensive line, is it really talented like that? Maybe they maximized it, but who knows? But then there's another question about him. Do you look at him as a leader of men? Yeah. It's hard to guess those type of guys. It's hard to get because when I look, if you're telling Mike McDaniel, and if we didn't know nothing about Mike McDaniel,
exactly,
I would have never. Nah, he's not the head coach. Come on, bro. Yeah. Let's be serious here.
But that's the discussion I had with somebody else. First of all, Raider fans, they pick and choose who they put these standards on. Remember it was a time, it was me and you and Mike. We're like, yo, man, I wouldn't mind taking a shot at Russ on a minimum deal, paying him a minimum quarterback and bring him in here. And now, hey, if we draft a guy, let him play here for a few years. And then, hey, our rookie quarterbacks take over. There's, oh, no, Russell Wilson, he's too corny. He's not a Raider. He's not a Raider at all. But now Fernando Mendoza comes around. He's like, oh, my gosh, who cares if he's corny? I was like, all right, now all of a sudden the standards change. And then, Mike, everybody wants Clint Kubiak. And then but Mike McDaniel's too corny. But Clint Kubiak is not? Bro, have you heard this dude talk? Mike McDaniel talks with much more, charisma and articulation and just much more confidence in what he's saying. Is he kind of quirky? Yeah, he's quirky, but it's a good kind of quirky. He's being himself. He's who he is. He does stuff after he beat the Bills or somebody, he rode around to all the fans' bars and was honking at them. That's the kind of dude that he is. He's an outgoing person. He's not going to be afraid to have a conversation with somebody in a locker room. Clint Kubiak, bro, you hear this dude talk? Like I said, bro, I've made a joke before, but he don't seem like the confident type, bro. He seem I think Mint Beat sent us the picture of the chair. Yes. Clint Kubiak.
Yeah, nah, fact. Yeah, so it's not to say that he won't be a great head coach. It's just we're just being real. There is a risk with all these guys, and Clint Kubiak has some risk too. But I think Clay is kind of interesting in that, from day one, he's been developed in that 49ers coaching tree, and we all know, if you're gonna talk about the Rams and Sean McVay and their coaching tree, and Mike LaFleur, who's been there for maybe a couple years, a year or two, to a guy we can talk about Shanahan's coaching tree where he's had some guys who are successful in the NFL in their own right, and I think he's connected to Mike LaFleur too as well. But I'm just saying, a guy like Clay just being there from day one, being groomed, kind of the reason why a lot of people like Mike Shula or Chris Shula, because he's kind of been there his beginning of his career all the way up until defensive coordinator. And they like that, but I kind of like
in bad though. I don't like people that have been in one organization and have seen it work one way, because then you don't have as many tools in your tool belt to pull from. Anybody it's like being a mechanic, right? It's like if a car you're having trouble starting your car, and you've only seen people fix the spark plugs, or that's all you've ever seen. Oh, but every time we just fix spark plugs here. We just fix spark. So when you're doing a diagnostics, all you're gonna look at is a spark plug, and you say, oh, well, damn, it's not the spark plugs. You just need a new car. But if you've seen other places that do other things, oh man, you got a bad starter. you need to change this. You need a new battery. It's your alternator. Like, you can look at all of these other things and point to different things because you've seen different ways that it can be done. But if you've only seen it done one way under one regime, then that's the only experience you have to draw from. So that's the only tool you can pull out of your tool belt. That tool ain't gonna work every time. You gotta be able to draw on some other tools. And if you can't do that, like they said, bro, it's evolve or die out here. And if you can't evolve, then that's gonna be the end of your tenure.
I'm trying to think of guys that like had success where they've been in one situation and then they kind of had success other places. I think Mike McDaniel, he's kind of like, even before the 49ers, I think he was on other coaching staffs before.
Yep.
So
he's with the Redskins, with those guys. I think he was in Cleveland.
Yeah.
At one point. So he's been, all these other people have been other places.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think. But yeah, I think Chris Shula in that passing game coordinator from the Rams is kind of interesting because I think he would be the most likely OC. I think that would be pretty solid, but I don't right now. It doesn't seem like he's well, they're still you know what? They're still in the playoffs, so we don't know.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like if the Raiders don't hire a guy this week, there's someone. It's for sure because whoever they want is in the playoffs.
Yeah,
but
no doubt.
It is what it is. But you know who I can see? Man, this is my like Raider PTSD. Like Mark Davis. Peep the DM. Mark Davis looking at a Mike McDaniel and be like, no. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, man, looking at looking at Mike McDaniel and being like, yeah, because he likes the head coaches that kind of grab his attention and like, like leader of men just right off the bat, like, the big names. So it's kind of interesting like how he goes. But you know what? He did say that he's leaving the coaching hires to Tom Brady and Spytek. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, man, we appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click in, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Man, we see everybody coming through, man. We appreciate the support. The chat is going crazy. He says, playing Prince in the background. Yeah, that's funny. Mike McDaniels, yeah, we heard it, bro. Yeah, we heard it. Oh man. All right. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, hold on 1 second. Damn, I don't feel like talking about all these topics. It is all good. Breaking news, Mike McDaniel. Yeah, we heard all the news, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to click and hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Let's just do a little rundown. Let's just run it down. Let's run it down, and we'll just wrap it up. Yeah, man. We just plan to go be in and out. Let's talk about flag on the play real quick, man. Flag on the play. What we got?
Yeah. Flag on the play. So we got our boy Max Crosby. Obviously at the end of the year, Raiders decided to sit him down. He took his ball and he went home and threw a hissy fit, and then he did some super, like I said, it was super feminine energy stuff with the subliminal post online type deal about not being able to play. And now Max Crosby revealed something very interesting on his podcast.
Oh yeah, man, my bad. Max is man, we're kind of seeing like his ego is up there. Let's see here.
Been MIA for a couple weeks. Been a lot going on, to say the least, but I got surgery. Surgery, something I knew I had to get done in September. There was something that, we knew was eventually, after the season was going to be done, we had to get it done. And we got it done. So the best in the world, Neil Elitrosh, he's done a lot of my surgeries. He did my knee the first time. He did my labrum. He's done a lot of major surgeries on me, and all have been extremely incredible, and successful. And so, yeah, big shout out to Neil. Got to spend some time with him. Got to go to his palace in Beverly Hills, which was legendary as well. Smoked some stogies with him. And we just watched the games and stuff last weekend after my surgery. But everything has been great. I got to fly back after this. I mean, the episode will be out tomorrow, but
yeah, man. So look, Max basically kind of breaking down that he knew that he needed surgery in September. It's kind of low key, kind of crazy because he was shut down like literally 2 games before the season. That's
crazy.
So that says that it's a flag on a play because the way the season was going, like, as who in that building, like, they could have shut down Max a lot earlier than that. And when you shut down a player a lot earlier than that, that means they could have started the rehab process a lot sooner than that. Instead, he's going to miss like the majority of the offseason, and he's not going to come back until June. That's the target time. And that says a lot about Max, you know, because obviously he's going to be the player. The player is going to be a player. The player is going to, he wants to be out there. He wants to compete. We all know about Max Crosby. So there's a level of accountability that you could talk about Max Crosby, but I think it's also on Pete Carroll. And it speaks to him. Yeah. Him trying to win at the end of the day. So I think that's the biggest issue is that Pete Carroll and remember his timeline and how he just wants to win now. And I think that kind of contributed to Max basically putting that off a little bit too. So I'm putting it on Pete, but also on Max. But then at the end of the day, like if we had the proper structure in the building and the proper leadership in the building, there would have been, Max would probably be like, I want to play. But then there would be the head coach that'd be like, you know what? This is best for your future. Like, this is best for this team. Or a GM, you know, you could probably criticize Spytek on this one. Or Tom Brady. And it just spoke to the dysfunction that happened this season. I think that, like, to me, it's a big flag on the Raiders, Max Crosby, and obviously the fired Pete Carroll. And if you want to throw in Spytek in there and Tom Brady and all that, we can do that as well. But it didn't sound good when he said that.
It sounds to me like the Raiders need to try to get 2 first-round picks for him. That's what it sounds like to me. But,
yeah, sure, responsible. But
love them. We on different tracks, brother. We on different tracks.
Yeah.
Give our young quarterback as much support as possible. And try to get him a wide receiver 1 and another tackle in this draft, and you know, try to get us another change of pace back later in the draft. Give us more ammunition. Try to get us another impact defender. Like, do all of these things. We got a young quarterback. Let's fertilize the ground and support his growth.
Yeah, man, it is what it is, man. But let's actually move it on to notable quotable. We'll probably scratch the Mcdaniel one because I don't want to hear how good a coach he is.
Yeah,
it's just.
I was trying to find another one. That's what I was trying to find another one.
No, I think we already had a notable quotable. You know what? We'll just. Oh man. The Debo is kind of disgusting. We got to talk about that real quick.
We got to talk about that. You can play that.
All right. This is another flag on a play. We were about to go to notable quotable. This is another flag on a play. If you guys been noticing, Debo Samuels and what's Joe the corner?
Is Joe Hayden and
Joe Hayden. So they started a podcast.
James Harrison.
James Harrison. Yeah, James Harrison and Joe Hayden, they started a podcast. And if you guys have been noticing lately, like Tomlin has been a topic of discussion on that podcast. So, and recently he had some interesting comments about Tomlin and him as where his legacy as a coach. Let's just say it that way. Let me go ahead and play the clip.
It began. You're tied with.
My bad.
Is Coach T a Hall of Fame coach in your opinion?
No.
Okay, so now that's actually crazy. Okay, yeah. So we're
the
just
thing I can't give him a Hall of Fame coach for is because he hasn't made disciples. You're telling me you're a Hall of Fame coach, but no one has followed you. No one has went down the line with you. That can't be the thing. He's the only coach that has coached this long and does not have a tree, bro. Guys are emotionally attached to him.
I'm not gonna not give him the Hall of Fame nod because he's bad at hiring offensive coordinators. When I talk to
and you think that is a thing that he's bad at doing, or do you think that is a thing that he purposely does to keep position and power?
No. I don't think he self-sabotages.
That's crazy. I'm not saying you self-sabotage.
If you're hiring other coaches that aren't good enough because you think they're going to take the spotlight out of you, that's self-sabotage.
Is it enough spotlight? Is it enough spotlight?
No, is that what you were saying?
Listen, Joe. Is it enough spotlight to go around?
So the clip is longer, but we'll just get into it, man, because basically, Debo, he's kind of like downplaying Tomlin as a head coach, saying, talking about like he doesn't have any assistants in the NFL from his coaching tree, which, I was talking to someone about this, and I had to look this up, but I had to double check. But I think he did have a former assistant become a head coach. I think at least one. Was it Wisenhunt? Ken Wisenhunt? Wasn't he?
Ken Wisenhunt. Yeah.
Wasn't he an OC to start with the Steelers? You know what I mean? But let's not even talk about that, because we can talk about like, what he hasn't done, but what has he done as a coach? His level of consistency is something that coaches don't do. So that's
unmatched.
It's unmatched, right? So, and then on top of that, like, he's won a Super Bowl. The fact that like his ability to keep a strong locker room together, and like Antonio Brown is Hall of Fame. The whole Antonio Brown situation and how we had no clue how crazy Antonio Brown was. That is a Hall of Fame worthy. I don't know whatever you want to call that.
In and of itself. Yeah,
man, that's crazy in itself. But I think to me, I think Tomlin is definitely a Hall of Fame coach. It just sounds like the relationship between James Harrison isn't good there, and it kind of shows. Or this is just them like trying to get attention on their their new podcast. That's a big part of it too as well. Yeah. But I just feel like there's a little bit of like a little hate coming from Mike Tomlin. I mean, from James Harrison.
James Harrison was already on the roster and there before Tomlin got there. So Tomlin inherited him. So James Harrison already had his relationships. I'm pretty sure he already had his way of doing things. And Mike Tomlin was like the stepdad. Like the step kid never likes the stepdad. You feel me? Like that's, and Mike Tomlin, he was a young kid. I think he was like 30, like 32 or something at the time he was hired.
Right.
So he probably didn't know at that time how to really reach out. He's probably the same time as damn near the same age as James Harrison was at that time. James Harrison was probably like 29 or something like that, 28, 29. So they probably real close in age. He probably didn't know how to connect with them, so he's probably coaching them hard. And, I'm sure James Harrison probably took an issue with that because of the way James Harrison is, and they just got off on the wrong foot. But, there are other guys that everybody else seems to love Mike Tomlin. Not like even AB didn't trash everybody like that he played for or played with. I really haven't heard him say too many bad things about Tomlin, if anything at all. He trashed Derek Carr. He trashed Tom Brady's wife, Robert Kraft. We know what he said about Mayock, So it's like he trashed everybody. I really haven't heard him say negative words about Tomlin. That tells you something, that he was able to keep that under control and, still have like a solid relationship with a volatile personality in Antonio Brown.
Look, LS says I'm not mad at James Harrison. It's not like I'm not saying that what he's saying is necessarily not true. You know what I mean? That you could criticize that. I'm not saying what he's saying. He went on to criticize his playoff record. If you look at all the head coaches and he talks about their playoff record, and Mike Tomlin doesn't have one playoff record. But in my opinion, I'm not gonna lie, I don't think, and this is controversial. This is my opinion. I don't think Mike Tomlin has ever had a great quarterback. I thought Roethlisberger was a really good quarterback. I didn't put him with Aaron Rodgers. He was never as good as Aaron Rodgers. He was never as good as Tom Brady. He was never good as Peyton Manning. And I don't think he was better than Drew Brees. And these are all quarterbacks from his generation. Yeah. Was he a really good quarterback? Yes. He was.
Yeah.
Really good quarterback. I'm not taking that. Was he a top 10 quarterback? Yeah. He was top 10.
Yeah.
But I thought that, like, as much as you want to criticize Tomlin for not, like, having a winning record, do we criticize Roethlisberger too for not also winning in the playoffs? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. So the thing about Tomlin is this. Tomlin he doesn't have a good playoff record because Tomlin has consistently taken teams that should not have been in the playoffs to the playoffs.
Right.
So when they get to the playoffs and play teams that are legit playoff teams, they lose. But he's consistently been, taking teams that should not get there, that with another head coach likely would not get there. He's taking teams, Mason Rudolph, Kenny Pickett, like a washed up Russell Wilson mixed with Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers over the hill. We saw what Aaron Rodgers looked like last year with the Jets. He's taking these guys to the playoffs. He's never had a losing record. He left coaching before he had a losing record.
Yeah.
That tells you something, right? So, like, he's overperformed. And that's hurt him in the postseason because they didn't belong there.
Yeah. No, facts. That's a great point. That's actually a great point. And that's true. I mean, the fact that he's been consistently, had a above 500 football team, and then some of those, a majority of those years probably went to the playoffs. Like, come on. Especially the later years too. Like man, it just sounds like a whole bunch of hate come from James Harrison, to be honest with you. And that's why it's a flag on the play. It's just like, come on, bro. Like, you're nitpicking your former head coach. And I'm not saying that, like, some of the things that he wasn't saying, like, you could have a conversation about it and talk about it, and, like, you can't. That's what the whole conversation is about when you're talking about Hall of Fame and
part of it is that I don't know how long he was there, but Dick LeBeau was his DC for a while. Dick LeBeau was never going to get a head coaching job, so that automatically eliminates half of your opportunities right there.
Yeah.
So it's like, so whoever your offensive coordinator is, and you got to hope they get a job. But I think I thought Todd Haley worked for him.
And Todd Haley, was he head coach? Todd Haley for sure was the OC around the league.
OC.
I know for the Chiefs, he was there with the Chiefs. Was he the coach for the Chiefs?
Maybe was Todd Haley with the Cardinals? Did he coach it? Or
I think it was Ken Wisenhunt. I think it was Ken Wisenhunt.
Okay.
But look, at the end of the day, it's flag on a play on Debo.
Brian Flores about to get a job.
James Harrison.
That'll be one right there.
I know, right? But he wouldn't be like Tomlin's coaching tree just because he's been
a coach before.
He was a head coach, and he came from the Patriots, whatever. But either way, flag on a play on James Harrison again.
Yeah.
He topped the comment. It's getting worse. It's like, damn, like,
yeah,
bro, anything for views, huh? You just gonna say anything for views, man. It is what it is, man. So flag on a play on him, man. But man, we gotta cut this show short, man. We had a great show, great conversation. We just wanted to come in and out. Obviously, it's an early edition. I know it's a lot of people in the chat. We appreciate everybody coming through. We'll be back later this week, man. This Thursday, around the Shield. This Thursday, we'll make it happen. Hopefully, we'll have a guest, and we'll continue the conversation. And hopefully, man, the Raiders just hire a coach, man. Because what just as important as to hiring a head coach is building that staff. And the longer they take without hiring a head coach, some of these guys that they want to hire in the staff, Dwayne Ledford, like offensive line coach from Atlanta, who I want the Raiders to get, might go somewhere else because the Raiders don't have a head coach yet to make that decision there. But we'll have plenty of time to react to it. Yeah, live reaction to McDaniel. That took out for me. That was like my number one guy. I was like, if we can get him, I'll feel good about everybody on offense and like maximizing them and actually kind of like evaluating them and like we got to replace them because I believe in McDaniel as offensive coach. Now I'm gonna question a little bit like man. I'm gonna have to. I
don't know if he's that good.
Yeah, you got to work a little bit harder to figure out whose fault it is. Is it Mendoza? Is it the play call? Like you got to really look, But it is what it is, man. We appreciate everybody coming through. Make sure to clack in. At this point, clack out. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe. Hit that notification. We'll be back later this week around the Shield, And yeah, man, we'll make sure to have a longer show next time, man. But we appreciate everybody coming through, man. Y'all used to our marathons. That's the thing. Y'all used to our marathons. Exactly. Severe, any last thoughts before I head out, or you want to let the people know where they can find you? All that good stuff.
Yeah, you guys know what it is, man. The Severe Raider here on YouTube, IG, Snapchat, TikTok, X, everywhere. The Severe Raider. And make sure y'all tap in. Make sure y'all go on both channels, man. Hit the like button. Subscribe, hit the notification bell. Like I said, we're gonna be back at y'all this Thursday with Around the Shield, man. So if y'all want more conversation, make sure y'all back here or back on Fair Show, wherever y'all at. Go back where you at, and make sure y'all tap in, man. Because we're gonna have another great conversation, a little bit more information. Hopefully by then, the picture has become a little bit clearer in terms of who our head coach is. So yeah, man, make sure y'all tap in with your boy. And LS, the Bengals were good forever when they had Marvin Lewis. When they got rid of Marvin Lewis, that's when they were bad. That was a brief period of time.
Yeah, man. We'll be back later this week, man. Around the Shield, man. Tune in this Thursday. All right. Peace.